Hi, Flosstube. This is Rachel from the Stitch Bird's Nest, back for Flosstube number 5. It's been a little while since my last video. I suppose we must be coming up for about a month, which is about right for me. It is May the 30th, and it is a cold winter morning. We've got lots of sun here in New Zealand, but it is winter. But it's not too bad here today. I hope things are good in your part of the world, and yeah, let's get on with a bit of what's going on in my stitchy part of the world. So, it's been a funny kind of month in terms of stitching. So, I've sort of stitched a lot on some things, and other things have just gone by the wayside. If you've been here before, you know that I have certain things I like to do a little bit on each month, and certain bits that I like to get done, and I just kind of didn't this month. Yeah, totally unfocused, but I don't know. That's life. So, what should we start with? Book of Shadows. So this is by Alina from Over the Rainbow, and it was a sale. It was last year, and I just got way behind real quick because there's um a lot of a lot of stitching in the initial part. It just didn't work for me. But I'll put the finished project up here so you can have a look at it. And I can't remember quite where I was up to last time, but I did some more stitching on the door, the back of the door, so it got us a little bit further along this time. And yeah, this just feels like it goes on forever. So this dark piece of the door, but getting there, getting there. It's got that kryonic in here for the around the door frame and in the snakes, which is kind of nice. But yeah, that one's just plodding along. Feels like the slowest project, but yeah, it's getting there. Um, then I've got my little bottles. So if you've seen these before, you'll know that I do like a bottle a month, and this month that didn't happen in the slightest. Not only did the bottle not happen, I started another bottle that I didn't plan on, so really went out the window. Didn't finish that bottle either. So this was the bottle I was meant to be doing this month, and it didn't happen. This is the bottle I decided I was going to work on, and I did this much of that bottle. So here's my other 3 bottles I've done. My now who's this by? So it's thousands patterns on Etsy, and the bottles are all individual patterns, and I just decided to um, do them all kind of as one. So I did stitches, girl on a swing, dragons, which I decided to do the dragons as the tiniest participation in Year of the Dragon sale um, by Hugo Stitcher. So that's my tiny dragons for that. And then lavender was supposed to go in here, so I've marked that out. And then the whale with the tiny boat, I started here. And part of the reason I just totally skipped that lavender and went straight on to the whale ones is because I do WIP Warriors, which is like online cross stitch game designed to get those stitches in, and I was going to save like a couple of hundred stitches if I stitch on something with a whale with a fish in it. And I'm a really slow stitcher, so that was really good motivation, and I knew that whale one was coming up soon, so I was like, I'm just gonna start now. And so I did. So now I've kind of got 2 bottles sitting there waiting to be done, but it's all good. I'll get back on track and get them done. But I mean, the bottles are so cute. I do love them. And so I'm kind of like, okay, well, 5 fit kind of nice in there, and maybe another 5 will fit down the bottom. So maybe I'll keep going, but then another part of me thinks it might be nice to stitch a shelf underneath and maybe stop for a while and do something else, and maybe do some more bottles later in the year or something like that. So I'm not completely sure what I'll do once I've done those 5 bottles, but we'll see. There's so many bottles I could do, and they are super cute. They'd also kind of make nice bookmarks, like individual bottles with like a little bit of decorative stitching at the top and bottom. So that's something else I've considered. I kind of couldn't do that with these now because I've stitched them so close. I suppose I could, but yeah, I don't know. We will see. But yeah, I think the designer, I think it's Alina Konoplovich. Konop, Konoplovich. Yeah, so tiny bottles. And then my next WIP is my Fox and Rabbit mystery sampler, 2022 Changing Seasons. If you follow Judy from Aussie and Kiwiland, she was talking about this the other day, and she mentioned my one in here because she's doing one as well, and her one is kind of like a light creamy brown, I suppose, with like a rusty red, and it's a really pretty combination, but ours are really different, so it's interesting to see that really different look. Yeah, so here's what the project will look like when it's done, and my plan is just to do a section each month like the original one was doing, and I failed miserably, but that's okay. So here's where I'm at. And my plan for this month was to do an entire side like this and along here, and all I did was a corner. So yeah, so yeah, that's how it goes. So yeah, I'm gonna get, but I'm stitching this one at the moment. It's the one I'm working on at the moment, so I'm gonna stitch in this box here and get going tonight with the next vase in here and the pieces. So yeah, but I really love how this came out. I'm doing it in like a forest green and a black, and you can see the difference between the forest green and the black in there. It's hard to get it in focus. But I divided that one out quite a bit so that it would really have forest green, and then the tips are in black and the middle's in black, and yeah, divided that one out quite a bit, and I just love how that kind of came together. So yeah, I'll turn it so you can see it that way, but I'm loving that combination. It's a really, I'm really happy with that combination, and I nearly stopped this project altogether last year. It was this year when I pulled it out. My plan was to unpick it all, and I was just gonna chuck it and use the fabric for something else. And when I pulled it out and looked at the center piece, which was the only piece I'd done, I was kind of like, actually, it's really good. Why am I pulling it apart? So I'm kind of glad that I took that out and started doing it again, because actually it's really nice. So I think sometimes a project just needs a little distance, just to make you appreciate actually the work you've done on it. So yeah, so Fox and Rabbit mystery sampler. Very happy with how it's coming along now. Tiny Modernist. Stitchy Goddess. So here's the pattern up here, and I'll try and pop in a picture of where I was up to last month as well. And just try and get my thread and my cotton out of the way. It's come quite a way on this one. You can see where my time's been, can't you? So this is where I'm at, and yeah, motored away on this one with the flowers and everything down the bottom. So that's coming along pretty quick. Yeah, it's kind of amazing. Like, I like to do the flowers when I'm a little bit kind of feel like doing some details. And then when I'm tired, I just fill in bits of white. So I do the white as I go. I don't do it in one big block, otherwise I find it so boring. So it's quite satisfying, you know, like it's not hard to get that white done if you do it bit by bit. So yeah, but that's coming along nicely, and it's actually like been quite surprising how quick it's come along. Because yeah, I sort of thought it would take a lot longer, but hopefully this month I'll get this dress finished. I'm hoping, which I think is totally doable. Although, yeah, wait till you hear what I've got in the works coming up. So, but that should be doable. I should get that dress done. So yeah, Stitchy Goddess, Tiny Modernist. Right. And my next one, sorry, I'm just looking around what I've got here. So It Begins. It's a Bothy Threads kit by Hannah Dale. I'll just hold up the kit here. So Rendale Designs do these gorgeous little drawings, and this is such a cute little mouse sitting on a cotton reel, and you can choose to do it in the pink or the green. Before I opened it up, I thought I might do the pink, but the threads are actually nicer in the green when I open it up, so I'll show you in a sec. So I started this on Mother's Day. This was my Mother's Day mouse start, just to wanted to start something small that I could get done fairly quick and just see some progressing, because I've got a few bigger projects that are just going to take a while, and I wanted something that was smaller that was just going to whip through, you know. So here is my Mother's Day mouse. Let me just get the thread out of the way. And how cute is that? Isn't he sweet? And this is actually not a tail. This is my thread. Comes down stitching his little feet. So that's pretty cute, isn't it? And yeah, that has come together really quick. It's been a really different stitch from other things I've done, because it's I haven't done something with so many different colors in it and like lots of contrast, dark and light. And yeah, so when I first started stitching, I thought they'd got the colors wrong, because at one point I had these really dark browns in here and these really light colors in here, and I just didn't see how it was going to work. I thought they'd made a mistake. But they all kind of just come together and make this cute little mouse. Just, yeah, it just kind of does work. But yeah, it took a little bit of, yeah, trust the process really. And yeah, it has come together really well. But he is just so sweet. He, she, maybe it's a she. But yeah, so I'm down doing the little feet, and then I've got to do the tail that's kind of curling around and up over the thread, and then I'm onto that cotton reel. And I think that cotton reel should be fairly easy to stitch in terms of the colouring. It was kind of interesting because, as I said, I was thinking I would do the pink, but when I opened it up, as I was looking at it, I thought the pink was really quite washed out, is the best way I can put it. Whereas the green's quite sort of vibrant, and it's a bit hard to see in this light, but yeah, okay, yeah, you can see there. See how that green's got a bit of depth to it, whereas the pink kind of just not so much. So yeah, actually this one might show you it better. See, the pink actually has got there's a darker pink in here, so you can see. But even still, it just sort of think the green's going to win out on this lot. Yeah, so that's been really nice. Stitching away on that little mouse. He's going to be a real quick one. I should have him done pretty soon. Speaking of quick stitches, I'm just going to run off and get something else. Got what I wanted. So it was my daughter's birthday last week and she has just turned 10, and every year she wants these little cross-stitch cats for her collection. I've mentioned these before. They're from the Nico Atsumi website. They're called Nico Atsumi, which I believe means cat collector, and they're from the oplesiosaur.com website. And so I made her 3 this time round. The first one is marshmallow. The second one is ginger. And the third one, pumpkin. So they were really quick and fun. She just loves them. So it's so nice that she does. She's got about 8 or 9 now, I think. But they come together really quick, and you know, it's nice that she likes them. So yeah, she's just turned 10. Something that one of the ladies at my embroiderers guild pointed out to me, and I sort of thought, such a simple thing, but I never thought about it. I always stitch these and put a bit of felt on the back, but she said to me, make sure you write on the back when you gave it to her. And I thought, I actually don't, and I don't even remember the ones I've given her already, what they were for, what date I gave them to her for, and what their names are, because they all have names on the website. And we often sit there and go, oh, what was that one called again, you know? And I sort of thought, oh, I do need to be writing on the back of my work, and even on my framed work, you know, and things when I make these things, because we forget so quickly. And I know with some of the work I've inherited from various people or been given, I look at it and I think, like, I inherited a piece that we know the person who gave it to me didn't make, and nobody knows who made it or where it came from or anything. So it's a mystery now. And I even have a piece, so that piece that the person who I got given it from didn't make it, and the frame broke a few years ago. It accidentally fell off the wall and the frame broke, and inside the frame was actually a name, and it said a place in England. So this is obviously the person who made it from a place in England, and nobody has any clue as to who this person was and what the connection was to them from England, you know. So we have no idea of the history of the work, and I just thought, oh, you know, you kind of wish you knew more, but it's kind of neat. So yeah, I thought as much as you can, you probably, you know, get in the habit of putting at least your name and the date and, you know, where you're from, or, you know, where it was made on the back of things, because you kind of never know where your work's going to end up. I mean, my cats will probably only ever end up with my daughter, but you never know. But she won't remember. I mean, she may or may not keep them as she gets older, but, you know, in 2 or 3 years, she probably won't remember when she got given them, you know. She'll like to remember probably. But yeah, like, it's nice to know at least, even though we don't know the connection with the lady who made the embroidery, it's nice to know at least, you know, it's a mystery, but it's interesting to know at least that it came from England, and, you know, there's that connection there, and things like that. So yeah, it's interesting. So right, and what else have I got? So the other thing I've been working quite a bit on, that's my husband making noise in the background. He works from home. He's just come out of his office and gone down the hallway. The other piece I've been doing a bit of work on, which I'm really glad I finally have, is my bookbinding piece, which is a pattern by Marie Talbot. So I'll put the piece up in the corner so that you can see what the finished piece will look like. And show you what my piece looks like now, which still doesn't look like a lot. But I've done these purple flowers, the snails. I put the gold around these yellow buttercups. And I did this red rose down here, although it's not quite finished. Still doesn't look like a lot, but this work is so fine. I mean, you can see the size of my finger. It just takes a long time, but I worked out if I do 2 motifs a week, that I'll have this piece finished for September, which is when this instructor is back. And I'll move on to the second stage of this piece, which is to take the front, back cover and the spine and actually bind this into a book. So I need to keep moving on this, because not only is there the stitching to be done in these 3 pieces, there is a lot of beading and gold thread embroidery to be done. All these stitch pieces are surrounded by gold thread, but then there's thicker gold embroidery and surrounded by pearl type beads and more gold work. So if you can see it's hard to see in this light. Oh yeah, you can see the diamond shapes the whole way around, all pearls and gold. So it's a lot of work to go on there. So I'm just plodding on with this, even though I always feel like I've done the most tiny piece. It's progress, got to keep moving forward. So I'm just doing it. And I'll show you my cover for this. So I needed a cover because I keep this in the stand all the time. So I'm looking at it every day so that I can just get up and go do some work on it. But I needed a dust cover. So I found a piece. I found this, which I got from an op shop for $2. It's probably a placemat, I would say. All cross-stitched. Could even be by machine, not really sure. No, it's not. Looking at the back of it, it's not. But it's so lovely. Like, it's such a lovely piece. I just picked it up at an op shop. There was only one of them. And I just thought, how much nicer is it to have this out on display than just an old tea towel or a piece of white fabric. So I've just clipped it on with a couple of little peg things, and that's my dust cloth. And I thought at some point it'd be nice to embroider something in that and use this as my dust cloth because it's a good size. So yeah, there's lots of things you could put in the middle there. You could make something, a bit humorous or whatever. But I always love the saying, my soul is fed with needle and thread. So I thought that'd be a good one for the inside. So yeah. So that's where I'm at with that piece anyway. Right, I'm whittling down the pile. So the last one I've got to show you is actually my oldest WIP by far. So I'm in my 40s somewhere, and I bought this when I was about 16, I think, and I was so taken with it, and it was in a sale box for I think $20, and it was a full kit, and I was smitten with it because I was very into like history and things when I was younger. I still am, but very much so when I was that age. And this was the kit here, and it's a Teresa Wentzler kit, and I started this. And I was so slow on it when I was 16 because I'd done a little bit of cross stitching, not that much, and not knowing anything, I started it right on the edge, as close as you can get, because that's what I thought you did. And then it frayed away and frayed away, and then I tried to sew the edge on, and obviously that didn't work. So then I did a restart in the middle, and then I did this grid of 10 by 10, and it honestly, so that's the window frame picture, window image you can see there, and it's most of it. And then it has been put away and carried from house to house to house to house most of my lifetime. The original threads that were in the kit, I don't even know where they are. And then I decided, I pulled it out, and I'm like, I either have to get rid of it or actually do something with it in the next few years. And this was probably 2 years ago. So I got it out. I washed it because it was very kind of discolored and just old looking, and it washed up great despite all the years, and that cross stitch came out really nicely despite everything. So I decided I needed to consider finishing this, and then that's why this 10 by 10 grid looks a bit not great. It's because I had to roll it up to dry it and all sorts and things, but it's all right. And then a little while ago, I got really enthusiastic, and I thought, I'm going to finish this. This is going to be great. I'm enthusiastic. I'm going to do this. So I got it out, got out the pattern. No, I didn't. I got out the cover with nothing in it. Do I know where that pattern is? No. I have no idea. I did not know where that pattern was at all. And when I looked at buying the pattern, it was like $30 or something, and I was like, I've been carrying this around for how many years? Do I really want to commit and buy this pattern, or do I not? And actually I didn't have an answer, so I was kind of a bit in limbo. Then I heard of a website where you can get the digital version of a lot of these patterns. You download them into Pattern Keeper, so they can't be, made into PDFs and sold and things. It cost me $6. $6 for the pattern. And so I grabbed a copy. You can print it out at Pattern Keeper, so you've got your own printed version. And I grabbed a copy. So you are going to be seeing this one coming back to life. So you can see I've got that central window done, got those curtains to do and all that here, but this is going to be coming back onto the rotation, which is kind of cool. Because after all these years, it's just something I just do want to do it. I just still want to finish it. I still want it to be, done. Parted with a lot of things over the years, but for some reason, this is something I don't want to part with. So I have to do it then, won't I? So yeah, so that is all the WIPs I've got. Anything you have not seen has not been touched. So that's life, isn't it? Crafting life. So in terms of haul, it's not a lot because I try not to get too much. I mean, there is some because we're not getting too crazy here. But yeah. So I talked last time about mirabilias, I think, and I'd been thinking a lot about getting a mirabilia pattern because, they're just lovely, and it's kind of a tricky one because they are lovely, but I can't imagine having a lot of them in my home because although I admire them, I just not something I would put on my wall, I suppose. But I had a good look through all of them, and I came across one which I really loved, and it was Tiger Lily, which I then discovered is one of those patterns that a lot of people love and you just can't get. And so I didn't really want to be like trying to track down something that's difficult to get and is expensive because it's out of print and rare. So I let that one go. But then I came across another pattern, and actually now I've got it in my whole hands, I think I like it more. So this is the Feather Fairy, and this is going to be my first Mirabilia. Now, I just love her. I mean, I have a real love of blues and purples and really rich colours, but there's just something about that giant flouncy skirt. I just love impractical things. You know, like I'm very practical day to day. I do not like uncomfortable things, you know, like my babies particularly, like I was like my kids, my girls, my girl in particular, she's wearing tights and t-shirts. She's not in flouncy things because babies can't crawl in that stuff. You know, like I'm really practical. But as an adult, again, really practical. But if there is an opportunity to wear something flouncy and ridiculous for a night out, I am in because I love ridiculous. It is so fun sometimes, you know, like you've got to have a bit of fun in life and you've got to have a laugh. And if I was a fairy, this is what I would want to wear because it is flouncy and ridiculous. And there is just something about that skirt that I just look at that and it just cracks me up. I'm just like, that's fantastic. I just love it. I just love she's done a really good job about giving that skirt movement. Like you can look at it and you can kind of feel how it would move. And I think because she's on her tippy toes, you get that sense of weight and movement, although not a lot of weight, like lightness, I suppose, and movement. But yeah, I love this, and been thinking a bit about what color fabric it would go on. I'm not going to start this straight away. I want to do a little bit of research and have a bit of a think about color fabric. I'm not a huge fan of putting things on beige and browns unless it really is the best fit. I don't think this is the best fit for this. I think I love a good contrast, and I sort of feel there are other colors that might just make this pop even better. Um, she does have, so I did buy some beads and things that came with this because I got this from 123 Stitch overseas. So she has little red beads, which I assume are to do with her hair, and up around the top of her top. And then she's got some Krynics, which I'm guessing are to do with her wings and around there. But I almost wonder, you know, how would this look on a red, or how would this look on, you know, something really strong like that. So if you've seen any on really strong colors, I'd be interested to know, because a quick look around and I couldn't see anything that I saw that only light colors, only really subtle kind of backgrounds. So I'm curious if you've seen anything else done on any strong colors. I'd be really interested. Maybe even a green, you know, something something modern, bold, but so that's Mirabilia. Um, the other thing, so the other thing which has happened in the last week or so, which has kind of become a much bigger thing than intended, is I'm organising. So Victoria Sampler, the designer Thea Dweck, she has designed the gingerbread village cross-stitch patterns, the three-dimensional Christmas village, all like gingerbread houses and trees and all these things. So I'm running the gingerbread village stitch along, and we are going to be stitching the gingerbread village Christmas tree etui. So we have a Facebook group. I will link that down below. This is the gingerbread village, in case you haven't seen it. Okay. It's amazing. I mean, you know, I want to do all of them, but let's face it, you know, one at a time. So going to be starting with the Christmas tree etui, and it all came about because Victoria Sampler offered a 25% discount for anyone who would like to get together a group of people to do a stitch along. And if they got over 5 people, I think it was, they would offer a 25% discount. Someone else in New Zealand, Karen Lark, decided to get together a group, and then she did a poll and they decided to do birds of a feather. And I saw this and I thought, you know what? I would really like to do a gingerbread village one. So I went ahead and asked if anyone would like to do a gingerbread village one. And I got about half a dozen people who said they would. So I thought, great. So I set up a Facebook group and invited people to join from the Victoria Sampler chat group. I set up the Facebook group, invited people to join. I got up the next morning, there was 30 something people in it. And I thought, wow, that's pretty awesome. Okay. So that's great. And then over the next few days, we went up to 40, 50, 60. The numbers just kept going up. So I was really surprised. And then I found that Thea had actually posted about it on her group. So it became a much bigger thing much quicker, which is great. I mean, the more the merrier, you know. The more people who are interested in stitching it, the more of us there is to share our knowledge, find suppliers, help each other out, because you can't buy kits for this project anymore, these projects anymore. You've got to work out your own suppliers. Things are not available. So yeah. And so we've got over 100 members now. We've just applied for the discount, and we're just all getting our patterns now. But Victoria Sampler have allowed me to gather more names for another week. And if anyone else is interested, in a week's time, I'm going to put together another list of names to apply for the 25% discount again. And then, yeah, and then anyone who wants to join, we're all going to get together and start stitching this Christmas tree twist. So it's awesome and it's cool. I mean, the tree, you know, opens up and you fit a pin cushion inside, and it's got a little place for scissors and some loops if you want to put thread in. So I'll put a picture of that as well, because I thought that was pretty cool. I'm already thinking that I might do something slightly different, in that I might put lollies inside mine, because I don't think I would use mine for stitching. I think it will be a Christmas, a very much Christmas decoration type thing. So I'm going to do mine a little differently probably. But yeah, so it's brilliant. So that's where we're at. So I'm going to be busy stitching that Christmas tree etui, and then probably saying that horribly. It's probably French and doesn't sound like that, and I'm very sorry if I'm butchering that language, because yeah, it's not great when people do that, but I apologize if that's what I've done. But yeah, and then I am all keen to head on to like Candy Cane Cottage and stuff like that afterwards, and do more. So I'm hoping that's where it will go. So I'll be interested to see how we progress and things. So yeah, so that's where I'm at with that. And then the last lot of patterns that I have acquired, which I ridiculously excited about, even though I do not know where I'm fitting these things into my life. And I have temporarily forgotten the name of the person who makes them, so I shall pop the name in and let you know. But these are hilarious. I saw these with Judy from Aussie and Kiwiland, and I thought, I need these because they are hilarious. They really took me back to the 90s, and I just cracked up. And these are fairly small, so I think these would be a great kind of, you know, time to start and finish something fairly quick. But Who Let the Frogs Out? Yeah. Can you hear the song in your head? Right, wait for it. Hope, there it is. Yep. I have to remember them all. I should have written these down, shouldn't I? Baby Got Back Stitch. I think that's my favourite one. And oh, the last one. Can I remember the last one? Oh, it is something to do with oh, whip it good. Whip it good. And I thought, I need all four of these. So I my sense of humor, it suits me just fine. And I went on a deep dive down this pattern maker's website after that because I just thought how fantastic. Um, I just thought how fantastic all her stuff was. It was great. So yeah. But anyway, I think that's pretty much it from me. I've been watching lots of floss tubes again, and as usual, some great ones out there. I watched Frizzy Lizzie the other week. She was really good. I enjoyed her. And Cam the Stitcher. She has some really interesting color combinations. She's doing the what's it called? I think it's the Deadly Aquarium. I think that's going to be interesting to see what that's by Lola Crow. And that'll be interesting to see what that looks like as that stitch along progresses. I haven't done a stitch along by Lola Crow, but I certainly have liked the ones I've seen. So it'll be interesting to see how that one comes out. But anyway, that is about it from me. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, and yeah, it's good being here again, and I'd love to see what you're making. Show me what you've been up to, and have a great stitchy week. Bye.